नमस्कार दोस्तों, आज हम लोग क्लास 7 की इंग्लिश की जो टेक्स्ट बुक है पूर्वी उसको पढ़ेंगे। और उनमें क्या पढ़ेंगे तो देखिए, क्लास 6 की इंग्लिश की टेक्स्ट बुक पूर्वी में पढ़ेंगे हम लोग यूनिट 1। ये यूनिट 1 है ना, द लर्निंग टुगेदर। यूनिट 1 है जो लर्निंग टुगेदर है। इसका जो पहला चैप्टर है द डे द रिवर स्पोक, इसको पढ़ेंगे। ठीक है, तो आइए करते हैं शुरू पढ़ना। 5 यूनिट हैं इसमें, तो हम लोग पहला यूनिट को पढ़ रहे हैं जिनका पहला चैप्टर पढ़ेंगे आज। ठीक है, चलिए देखिए, यही आ गया लर्निंग टुगेदर। ठीक, इसको केवल अभी पढ़ेंगे। इसका जो मतलब होता है और जो इसकी वर्ड मीनिंग है, क्वेश्चंस हैं, आंसर्स हैं, ये सारा कुछ हम लोग बाद में देखेंगे। अभी पूरा चैप्टर को हम लोग पढ़ना सीखते हैं बस। ठीक, यूनिट 1 लर्निंग टुगेदर। The day the river spoke. Let us do these activities before we read. तो पहले हेडिंग देख लेते हैं अच्छे से। क्या है? The day the river spoke. Spoke. Let us do these activities. क्या है? Activities before we read. Let us do these activities before we read. Close your eyes and quietly listen to the sounds around you for a minute. Close your eyes and quietly listen to the sounds around you for a minute. Are they trying to tell you something? Are they trying to tell you something? Do you think the things around you also listen to you all day long? Do you think the things around you also listen? ये listen नहीं है, क्या है? Listen. क्या पढ़ेंगे इसको? Listen to you all day long. Share. क्या ये? Share your answers. Share your answers with your classmates and the teacher. And the teacher. Janvi was a bright young girl. Janvi was a bright young girl who lived with her parents and 3 brothers in a coastal village in India. Her parents worked on the farm. Her parents worked on the farm. She had a dream. She had a dream. What could that dream be? What could that dream be? How could she make her dream come true? How could she make her dream come true? What is your dream? What is your dream? What is your dream? What can you do to make your dream come true? What can you do to make your dream come true? Share your answers with your classmates and the teacher. Share your answers with your classmates and the teacher. A big bright tear splashed. 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 A big bright tear splashed A big bright tear splashed down her nose and हाँ बड़ा हो गया, अब पढ़ने में हो गया सुविधा, ठीक है. A big bright tear splashed down. A big bright tear splashed down her nose. A big bright tear splashed down her nose and another. A kingfisher swept down its wings an arrow of blue in the sunlight and a green and a green lizard slithered and a green lizard slithered down to the river's edge to bask in the sun, and a green lizard slithered down to the river's edge to bask in the sun. Dear, dear, said a sleepy, murmuring voice. Dear, dear, said a sleepy, murmuring voice. What's the matter? What's the matter? Jahanvi was startled. Jahanvi was startled because she was sure she had been quite alone. It couldn't have been the lizard, and the kingfisher was up in the thicket of bamboo eating the fish it had caught. It couldn't be the parrots because parrots shrieked. Parrots shrieked, and this was such a sleepy voice. She looked around her. There wasn't a soul in sight. She was rather scared and wanted to run away. You shouldn't cry, you know, the voice went on, and you really shouldn't be scared. And you really shouldn't be scared when you have been coming here. When you have been coming here to see me every day, well, almost every day. साइड्स के वर्ड्स जो हैं देख लीजिए. स्प्लैश्ड, स्प्लैश्ड मतलब क्या होता है? फेल इन ड्रॉप्स मेकिंग अ साउंड. स्लिदर्ड, मूव्ड बाय स्लाइडिंग फ्रॉम साइड टू साइड. मर्मरिंग, speaking in a low voice. Startled, surprised. Surprised. Thicket, a dense group of bushes and trees. Shrieked, made a high-pitched sound. Shrieked, made a high-pitched sound. तो पेज नंबर 2 का हो गया. चलते हैं पेज नंबर 3 पर. She was puzzled. She was puzzled. It was such a voice like the river. She was puzzled. It was such a voice like the river. It couldn't be the river. It couldn't be the river. Well, tell me all about it, said the river. For it was the river. For it was the river. For it was the river. I have got to hurry to reach the sea, you know. I have got to hurry to reach the sea, you know. They won't let me go to school, said Janvi. They won't let me go to school, said Janvi. I asked my mother. I asked my mother, why can't I go to school like Itten and Meena? Why can't I go to school like Itten and Meena? And the and mother had replied, you are too small, baby. Maybe later. You are too small, baby. Maybe later. But when she was 5, little Ramu was born, and mother still said, maybe next year. Janvi, mind your little brothers while I go to the fields. Now she was nearly 10 and minding little Appu, who was the smallest. They don't want me, they only. She stopped with a sob. I'm scared to go to school, and I'm so old now. They'll never let me go. But I want to go. I want to learn to read like Itten and Meena. Janvi called her brother Itten. Itten means elder brother, but his real name was Gopi. I want to know why spiders are yellow in yellow flowers, why bamboo trees rustle, why bamboo trees rustle, why the moon always comes from behind the hills, why bamboo trees rustle, why the moon always comes from behind the hills, never the other way, why the baby fish in the field water become frogs, why? Stop, said the river. You make me breathless. You make me breathless. So many whys. I can tell you where the moon goes. The river said conspiratorially. 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 Oh, I can tell you where the moon goes, the river said conspiratorially. It goes down towards the sea. I have seen. It always takes the same way over the mountains and down to the sea like me. Let me discuss. What was Janvi's dream? Was it important to her? Why? Was it important to her? Why? Do you think the river can help her in fulfilling her dream? How? Do you think the river can help her in fulfilling her dream? How? It was पेज नंबर 3 था वो. ठीक है, पढ़ेंगे अब पेज नंबर 4. Even little Ramu goes to school, said Janvi. Pity the school isn't by the sea, said the river. Then I could take you along, you know, but I suppose I couldn't really. You would get your feet wet, and that would never do. I'm afraid there's only one thing you can do. I'm afraid there is only one thing you can do. Can I do something? Asked Janvi. Well, it's up to you. It's up to you, said the river. Seems to me little girls can do as much as little boys. They swim as fast as little boys. You just slip along one morning and sit there in the school and listen to what's going on, and maybe the teacher will let you stay. I couldn't, gasped Janvi. I couldn't. They would scare me. They would scare me. They would chase me out. They would chase me out. The river laughed. The river laughed. You scared? You scared? The river said, when you are not afraid of the green lizard or of the snake in the bamboo clump, Janvi startled, or the big trains wrestling, or the big trains wrestling past that bridge. Trains are noisy. I prefer ships, said the river. Janvi never knew the snake lived in the bamboo clump. What are ships? She asked. Big boats, said the river. So big that they can take hundreds of people, and they sail along the sea with lights that shine all night. Janvi held her breath. Will they become will they come here? She asked. Janvi held her breath. Will they come here? She asked. I'm afraid not, said the river. Too large, Chandu's catamaran. Chandu's catamaran. Chandu's catamaran is good enough for me. Chandu can take you to see a ship someday. They would never let me, wailed Janvi. They would never let me, wailed Janvi. Try going to school first, said the river. Try going to school first, said the river. Remember, it's up to you. Janvi gathered courage. The next day, she reached the school, panting and out of breath, and stood by the door listening while the teacher read out the lesson. It was a story about a prince called Ashoka who became a great king. Little Appu had fallen asleep on her shoulder. She crept nearer and nearer till she was in the back row, squatting with the other on the earthen floor. Little Appu made no noise and she listened. Where did you spring from? Where did you spring from, little girl? Asked the teacher. And what is your name? You are new in my class. She's Gopi's sister. Gopi is in the next class, said one of the boys. It's Janvi, said another. So, you are Gopi's little sister. Nice. Lad Gopi. If you really want to come to my school? Janvi, the teacher had said, we will talk to your father about it. Don't you worry, we will find a way. Janvi saw the teacher walking up the steps to their gate the next evening when she was lighting the lamp. She could see her father scratching his cheek the way he did when he was worried, and the teacher was nodding and saying something she couldn't make out. And mother said, little Janvi, I shall miss you when you go to school. Girls should learn as much as they want. When I was your age, I wanted to go to school. But your grandmother said no, but now I am glad that the teacher came to talk to your father. And Janvi said, Mother, when I grow up, I will be a teacher and I will go from house to house in our village and ask all the little girls to come to my school. And I'll, क्या है? I will, I और will मिला हुआ है ऐसे कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड फॉर्म में है तो होगा I will and I will teach them all that I am मिला हुआ है यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड फॉर्म में क्या पढ़ेंगे I am and I'm going to learn. And she went down the path between the fields the next morning before school began to meet the river. I did it, she told the river. I was scared, but I did it, and they are letting me go. They are letting me go. I am going to learn to write my name and do sums and find out why our little fishes in the rice fields turned into frogs. She heard the river's sleepy chuckle. Come again, little girl, and I'll tell you all about the ships that sail the sea. Kamla Nair, an extract adapted from The Day the River Spoke. So, ये पूरी कहानी थी. उम्मीद है आप घर में बहुत अच्छे से खुद से भी इसको पढ़ेंगे और अच्छे से इसको क्या करेंगे, आप पढ़ना सीखेंगे, रीड करना सीखेंगे. मिलते हैं आपसे अगली वीडियो में. नमस्कार.